up, guys? What is going on? Thank you for joining me for an episode of FallOut 4. Now, if you've been keeping up with the series, we just finished molecular level, which is where we built the thing that teleported us to the Institute. Here we are. However, if you watched my previous video, I did it with the Minutemen, and I decided that I didn't want to do it with the Minutemen. I instead wanted to do it with the railroad, so they might be able to help me more. And they did. They actually gave me a mission. I am to infiltrate the Institute, so I'm supposed to lie to them, gain their trust, and all that, which sounds to me a hell of a lot more fun. The whole building thing was really boring, so I'm not even going to bother making a video of that. I'm just going to skip into the whole infiltration, and hope you guys like it. Here we go. Meet at the advanced system maintenance room. Wait, did I take it? Okay, I'll take it back. Alright, so we gotta keep in mind that I am looking for a science room for good old Virgil. He told me to find his serum that's gonna cure him.
Hello. I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful.
I am.
I'm known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator.
I like how is that like a quest? Enter the elevator. I've been in the goddamn elevator, you moron. God damn, man.
I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have
This
the
place
wrong
is
impression.
fucking huge. Dude, the Institute is huge.
Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute.
Man, I'm trying to finish this quest so I can go
place
work on my goddamn house and
the
see if I
work
can
we do.
do
For
something
over
cool with
100
those
years, we've
flashing
dedicated
TVs
ourselves to
or scanners.
humanity's survival.
Fucking thing keeps dragging on.
Decades of research, countless
just does that.
experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape
Sorry if you
the
were trying to
future.
look at things. I was being
It's never
dumb.
been easy. And our actions
I get
are often
impatient.
misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait.
Hey,
You are here for a specific,
I found my black baby.
very personal reason.
He's not black anymore. This isn't my baby.
For your son.
This isn't my baby. My baby was black. This kid is clearly white. I don't know what the fuck that is, but I'm taking it. Expect me to believe that this is actually my kid? It's not, because he's white, and he clearly saw my baby was not white.
It's stuck.
So they kept his name? How did they know his name?
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
God damn them. So many years stolen.
Who are you?
Sean, where is everyone?
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Sean, Daddy's gone, but I'm here. Mommy's here now.
What's going on? Father? Father! I
Sean,
don't know you. Go
open
away.
the door.
Father! Father, help me! There's someone here! Help me!
Please, Sean. I'm your mother. Just talk to me. Just open the door.
Basically, you're
Father,
grounded.
He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
I could just kill him right now. What the fuck?
Shock. S923, recall code.
What the fuck?
Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Give me Sean. The real Sean. Right now.
So then first, I want to join the
know.
Institute to begin with.
You've gone
Second
to
of
such
all,
lengths to find him.
I'm infiltrating it, so.
Just help me understand what's going on here.
I promised answers, and answers you shall have. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet.
What? I told you guys. I called this. I think it was like episode 4 or something. I said that Sean is probably the boss now. That he's in charge of everything. And he's like, I'm trying to kill.
Your son.
That's... I knew it. I hope it's real. He has the same hair, but I mean, fuck. I don't know what to believe.
It's really you. After all this time.
Yes. It's true. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time.
No, I don't believe
You were
this
released
because
from
listen,
your
it makes no
pod and
sense.
went searching for the sun.
Kellogg was taking care of it
You
as a
lost.
10-year-old boy. Now
But then
Kellogg
you
is a
learned
human,
that your son
so he
was no longer
ages
an
like a
infant,
normal human, right?
but a
Unlike
10-year-old
feral ghouls and
boy.
super mutants who can live for long times,
You believed
humans don't live for
10
long times
years
here.
had passed.
And
Is
when
it really
Kellogg,
so hard
they
to
took away the
accept
kid,
that
he was
it
just a
not
kid,
there?
you know? So there's no way this could be Sean.
That is the reality. And
There's no way.
here
This
I
makes no sense if it's real. Because
Raised
Kellogg would
by
be
the
old.
Institute.
Well,
and
they
now
did
it's
make him sort of a machine, so maybe he's more machine. I don't know. To me, it doesn't make too much sense. Maybe if you've been paying more attention to the storyline or quest, it makes more sense to you.
Are you following?
It wasn't right, what they did. Taking you from me like that.
To you, that would certainly seem true. But to the Institute, it made all the sense in the world. At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
I think I see where this is going.
Then perhaps you already understand why it was necessary for the Institute to acquire me. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
I don't believe you. There's no way any of this is true.
I wish there was something to say. I know this isn't what you wanted. But it's the only truth I can offer you.
You're my son? Then prove it. Now.
I've already told you how I came to be here. I don't know what further proof I can offer that would convince you. I've shown you my trust. Your weapons haven't been confiscated, and I stand unarmed before you. Please.
I think deep down I should thank the Institute, because this place looks a lot safer than me taking my son into, you know, the Commonwealth. It's not safe at all. So I should probably thank them. You know, they took care of my son. Maybe they should have told me about it, and I think any sane mother would have agreed. But, we'll see, we'll see.
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept the collateral damage to a minimum. The Institute...
They explained the whole thing I was having.
Vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Your father. He never got to see you grow up.
Yes. What happened to him was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems what happened to him was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So, you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
Doesn't matter what they think. What matters is what you do.
I'm glad we see it the same way. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
Yes, that's what I want.
I know. I know you've been through so much. I'm pleased to see it has not impaired your judgment. Forgive me. I'd assume that after everything I'm sure you've seen above ground, you would be more than a bit biased against us. There is much to be done. You'll need time to acclimate yourself, a chance to become acquainted with our procedures. Are you following?
I'll do whatever it takes. It's worth it.
I am glad to hear that. The Institute is now your home, as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ao in SRB, Dr. Holdren in Bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
It's an honor to have you here, ma'am.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive server. It's the third time we've
Is it true? Hey, it's me. So you're the one who sent the encrypted message.
The Railroad's in the business of helping synths too. That makes us friends.
What? The railroad? As in the railroad? I kept sending synths to the surface hoping someone would help them. I hoped the railroad got to some of them, but I never knew for certain.
You've saved a lot of synths.
So much to take in. But wait, with you in the picture, I have this idea. To rescue a lot of synths. At once. But we'll need help. Where's he working now? Right. Let's go to the West Atrium. Probably best to talk about something else right now. You know my father thinks it's a living hell on the surface. But that can't be right. Heck, you look positively normal to me. No offense. I'm not sure if we could ever make the surface actually a decent place to live. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't at least try to help, you know? C-114, it's me.
Sir, do you require something?
It's okay, Z-1. She's a friend. She's with the railroad.
Meeting here is dangerous. And you bring a stranger. You. How do I know we can trust you?
Because the members of the Railroad have dedicated their lives to fight for your freedom.
I thought only Mr. Benet cared. But your friends actually fight for us?
That's what the Railroad does, C1. She's from the surface.
I've never met another human willing to help. But, sir, we must make this quick.
Right now, how many synths want to escape, C1?
The ones I know for certain? 13.
That'll take forever. Let's free those 13 all in one go.
I would do anything for my people. But how do we get them to the teleporter? It's no good. The old maintenance tunnels that lead there are always sealed. By the SRB.
If I can find a way to open those doors, could you get your synths to the teleporter room?
Yes. We'll talk later. Someplace more secure.
Just a few high-security doors, right? Controlled by cutting-edge SRB security tech. Yeah. A head-on hack is the sucker play. So we go at them sideways. You're willing to help, right? I can't do this alone.
It depends on what you need.
Our core security architecture hasn't fundamentally changed from the old CIT days. The original security program was called Code Defender. Revolutionary stuff. We still have terminals running version 1, mothballed in storage. With some persuasion, I can get an old terminal to interface with the new security terminals. Enough to open doors, at least. Problem is, I can't even crack version 1. So I need a good old-fashioned username and a password. And that's nowhere to be found in the Institute. But if you could get me a pre-war admin password from the surface, I could log right in.
I'll find it for you.
That's great. Unfortunately, the obvious place to look won't work. The CIT ruins were picked clean years ago, but some of the admins had to live off campus. Ask your friends in the Railroad. I need...
Remember to keep unnecessary power consumption to a minimum. Don't... It was probably just a version of Notice. Glad you made it. To find all the control software could use an update.
If it were just a limb twitching, but her eyes were moving.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Involuntary.
It's you.
Momentous time. You're finally with us. I'd just like to apologize for any trouble our synths may have caused for you on your way here. They, of course, couldn't be told of your identity, and they have very specific protocols for protecting themselves and Institute interests, most of which I designed myself. But not to make problems for you, though. Will you be staying with us then?
Yes, of course.
Ah, good. Sean is most pleased, I'm sure. He's been quite anxious to have you with us. If you require anything, especially as it pertains to synths, please let me know.
Hi, Doc.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I've increased synth responsiveness by 0.04%.
Rumor is, Advanced Systems will be starting a new government initiative soon.
Welcome to the Institute. Please step out this way.
The synths aren't just Father's legacy. They're his gift to humanity.
Max.
With our third-generation synths, we've improved them.
Today is full of possibilities.
We're all looking forward to working with you.
You know the protocol, sir. authorized personnel only.
Hey, Doc.
I'll pass along
Welcome.
your message, Doctor.
Welcome. It is so good to meet you.
It'll take some time.
I'm so glad to hear you say so. And you should know that many of us consider it a great see that you do. I hope all your needs are being seen to. You just let me know if they're not.
Dr. Oberly.
Our new synths are so lifelike, I keep mistaking them for real people.
All this must be a little overwhelming for you.
To knock some heads together.
What now?
They're dragging their feet on the targeting package upgrades I asked for. Maybe I should take some courses with me. You know, send a message.
Child,
Please don't.
There's enough friction as it is between
Doctor?
us and pretty much
So.
all the other departments.
Here you are. Justin Ayo, Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity. I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there?
Why? Don't you trust me?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider. The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. There's little precedent for this situation, so it's only natural to take extra precautions, It's nothing personal, I assure you. Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the Synth Retention Bureau. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
I'm sure it's best for everyone if the synths remain here.
Certainly. We can't allow sophisticated Institute technology to fall into the wrong hands. The results could be disastrous. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered one already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
I'm no stranger to combat.
Even so, a Courser should be more than a match for any single combatant. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run. As if we don't have enough problems. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to it.
I'd like to know more about the synth reclamation.
Fine. Once a Courser has located a rogue synth, it uses that synth's recall code to wipe its memories and render it inert. We then begin the delicate process of restoring the neural pathways to their original configuration. In those cases where the procedure is successful, the synth returns to duty with no memory of its time on the surface. All too often, we're unable to repair the damage and are forced to dispose of the unit entirely.
Reporting status. All functions normal.
Nothing to report, ma'am.
If you encounter a hazardous chemical spill, please alert the cell store divisions immediately.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. What is she even testing?
Nothing. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
Excuse me, Doctor?
Ah, it's you. You're here then. Yes, I know who you are. We all do. While I'm sure Father is very happy that you're here, I do hope it doesn't interrupt our work.
That was productive.
Don't worry. I promise I won't get in your way.
Thank you, I do appreciate that. Oh, before I forget, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a Courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will.
Thank you. I'm sure that...
Given that the relay is the only way to access the Institute, handy is something of an understatement. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Now, unless there's something else, I really...
I'm good for now.
All right.
Father's plans to expand our operations at war. He's eager to get that going.
Dr. Holdren's synth gorilla project is showing promising results. Theoretical limits are made to be broken.
Security's too good.
We have more than enough to occupy ourselves here. Those people are the last remnants of a dying past. It's best not to dwell on the subject. They're still people, and they're suffering. The police admit that it's regrettable. After all, how can we hope to redefine mankind if we can't even hold on to our own? Well, that's a question that...
Doc?
Welcome. So good to have you here.
Did I turn off
Dr.
the
Clayton Holdren,
interferometer?
head of the Bioscience Division. I can't wait for you to see the work.
I look forward to learning.
In that case, let me give you a brief overview of what we do here. As the name implies, the Bioscience Division specializes in fields of studies such as botany, genetics, and medicine. Our most important directive is to ensure the health and well-being of everyone in the Institute. To that end, we cultivate highly specialized breeds of flora for use in food and medicine. We've even started to explore the idea of synthetic animal life. You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project at this point, but the potential is exciting nonetheless.
Seems like there's nothing you guys can't do.
With hard work and ingenuity, any challenge can be overcome. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is, but I have...
I'm not sure how well I'll fit in, but I'd like to give it a try.
Great. I was hoping you'd say that. In any case, I imagine you'll want to continue looking around. Or...
You mentioned medical care?
In that case, you'll want to introduce yourself to Dr. He's our top biologist, and also, sir, Dr. Volkert works in the infirmary. Just pay him... You won't find better medical care anywhere else in the Commonwealth. I'll promise you.
The Institute's a big place. It might take a while to learn where everything is.
Hi, Doc.
They weren't kidding. You really are here. Well, all right. I'm Allie Fillmore. You can think of me as the Institute's chief. They weren't kidding. You really are here. Well, all right. When Father told us about you, I could hardly believe it. You've been through so much. I think most people would have just given up. If you don't mind my asking, what was it that kept you going all that time?
I just wanted to find my son and keep him safe.
Now that you've found him, I hope you're proud of the great man he grew up to be. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the Facilities Division, and then I'll answer any questions you might have afterward. As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems running smoothly. We maintain and upgrade all of the systems that make it possible to live and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting as some of the other departments, but it's at least as important. So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father...
Absolutely.
Oh, good to hear. It'll be a load off Sean's mind. Take your time. Get yourself acquainted. There's a lot to take in. Plenty of things you won't find topside. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the Facilities Division, I'm happy to discuss it.
It must be a challenge to meet the...
Absolutely. We scratch and scrape for every precious ounce of voltage that we can. Over the years, we've learned a few tricks that help supplement our power budget. When necessary, we can tap into select sources on the surface. We take only what we need, of course. Fortunately, Advanced Systems is always working on new solutions to generate more energy. It's a good thing, too, because the demand is always increasing.
So that's going to do it for Institutionalized,
You don't even
and
want to know what single use of the
thank you for joining me.
molecular
I hope to see you guys in the next one.
consumes.
You guys have a good one. Peace.
So you were there